There's money on the table, go and get it.
R&D tax credits are a way to incentivize companies to innovate. They are designed to reward companies for activity that they have already done. What the government's essentially trying to do is say, we want to reward you and encourage you to innovate more, and the way we're going to do that is to reduce your tax burden on the business. The bigger picture thinking is, if we get companies to innovate, to grow, what actually happens is they employ more people, they make more products, they become market leaders, industry leaders. So here at Leyton, quite a lot of what we do is working with clients who have never claimed an R&D tax credit before, they're not aware of it, or if they are aware of it, they don't think it applies to them. So we educate them, we work with them, and we see whether or not they are able to claim with it.
A big part of providing the education when they're not aware is, firstly, this credit exists. So give them the confidence that what they're doing is a genuine credit that's available. It's a big part of the education is, what is the credit? How did it come about? Why is it there? They often have the misconception that R&D is in a lab coats. So it's walking them through that, and so they can come away with, okay, I can see now how it applies to us. And then really from there, it's just guiding them through the process. The education really comes at the beginning of what the credit is and why you, specifically as a company, are eligible for it.
Well, Leyton helped us acquire our tax credits quite simply by doing it for us. We provided a lot of raw data, and they identify those credits that we're eligible for, and then gave us some guidance and sort of strategy of how best to use that information.
The group at Leyton, everyone that we worked with was very personable. They spoke to us in a way where we felt respected, but also very, very clear, knowing that we are not financiers ourselves.
I think there's a gap in the knowledge about tax credits because, first of all, there is just a ton of information. And second of all, it changes all the time. So unless you're a tax professional and you're constantly keeping updated on the changes, the sheer volume of information is impossible to keep up with.
There's a massive network of people that are starting companies. We know plenty in Boston. It's a hub of innovation. It's one of the reasons why we came here. The difficulty now is really finding good people, hiring good people, and retaining good people. Everyone has very different views on what work is now. The 5 days in the office is gone. The hybrid model is in. Some people have fully remote. So one of the biggest challenges, I think, aside from the obvious funding and having the capital to actually invest, is actually good people. To find and bring on the people that you need to ultimately grow and be successful and profitable.
We were originally a startup in the US. We've grown to where we're at today. And we also deal a lot with entrepreneurial people in the businesses that we help. We worked with a multi-billion-dollar turnover, multinational company who wasn't sure whether or not they did R&D in their industry, and they had many projects. So we aligned them with our technical experts within that industry, and for them it was very much a education piece around what is R&D relative to their industry, what does qualify, what doesn't qualify, and it was also process. How can they take the process and you capture that through the year, so it's not such a retroactive thing that you do a year later. It's captured real time, which is much easier for them.
It's important that we assist our clients because it comes back to these credits are available. You know, the government come up with these initiatives for companies, and for us the credits are so important. As soon as they're aware that there might be another 100,000, 200,000 on the table, it changes the whole perception of their business and their outlook, and their business plan changes. It's like, oh great, we can hire another 2 or 3 people that we didn't think that we were going to be able to this year. It's so important for us that we are able to educate our clients on this, and they see that funding which the government wants to give them at the end of the day, and our job is to make sure we find the clients that apply and then help them do that. So for me, it's a huge part of success in the US is being aware of the credits that are available to you and obviously making sure that you apply for them in the correct way.
I found it challenging to introduce new technologies into the practice, and with the help of Leyton, that has kind of opened the door for me to motivate me as an individual to constantly improve myself and the dentistry that I do with the technologies that are being innovated.
How I see the tax services evolving is tax credits is going to be the way that the government's going to look to promote different types of behaviours. How I see us changing, maintaining our leadership and responding to the changes is the industry evolves. Any business won't be able to get up to speed with internal resources, no matter how big they are, to help do that. But specialist consulting companies like us who live and breathe tax credits are very well positioned to help with that ever-changing tax dynamic within the world.